So if you guys are looking to make money in the stock market, then you have come to the right place. I'll show you today how I built my personal portfolio to make life-changing profits. And these stocks in my portfolio have not only outperformed the broad market indices, but have performed phenomenally well. My strategy in the stock market is quite simple, and I've discussed this multiple times. My focus is only on high growth industries. So as you can see from the title of the video, this is exactly what we are going to discuss, the millionaire-making stocks. And I'll show you guys how to invest like a millionaire and to choose the best stocks to buy in year 2024 or 2025 and so on. So get ready for the best investment strategies which I'm going to share with you guys and share my high growth portfolio and the performance of my portfolio with you guys. Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is your friend Abhishek, but not a financial advisor, and it's been a long time. I did not post a long length video, been more than a month, but I was quite busy and then I was sick, and then of course cassava sciences happened and I was definitely not in a mood to post anything, because like I told you guys, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for you guys to show you the right path to investment. And now you must be thinking, yes, but cassava sciences failed. But please remember, I always said that I'm ready to lose all of my money, and this is just a speculative investment. I've said it n number of times. Yeah, so one investment out of 100 investments went bad. So that's it. That's all I have to say. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move forward and let's discuss my personal portfolio performance, and I will also show you how it was before cassava sciences and after cassava sciences. So let's get started. Okay, so here is my portfolio, and you can see the current portfolio value stands at 89,000 euros, and I have 10,000 euros in cash position, and I will explain to you guys why. And you can see that my portfolio profit stands at 85%. Yes, 36,000 euros is my profit. So like I said, one bad investment doesn't mean that complete portfolio has gone to ashes. No, it doesn't work like that. But I will show you guys and what happened before cassava sciences. So anyways, and this is not just about my portfolio. My Patreon members has also been experiencing huge gains. So you can see this, one of my portfolio members has 81% profit on their stock portfolio. And now let's talk about before cassava sciences. So my total portfolio value was at 146k, and yeah, and it was at 61% profit. So 55,000 euros was my profit, and after cassava sciences, of course, it has come down to 89,000 euros. So yeah, I have lost around 60k, 50k, but of course that was also the profit from cassava sciences. But my total investment from my pocket was around 25k. So that has gone. But anyways, let's move forward. So today, since we are talking about millionaire maker stocks, what I meant by that is that this is what you would like to see to make your first 100k, because after first 100k to reach 1 million euros is easy because of the compound effect. So now let's move on to the positions. And here is the first position. So I have Kinsale Capital Group, and I have made a detailed video on that. You can have a look at it. I will not explain all the stocks in details, why I have chosen them, because that will make this video pretty long, which I don't want to be. But Kinsale Capital Group is something which I'm gonna average up, because I do think that this has a huge moat, and the performance of Kinsale has been outstanding. So let me just quickly show you guys. So as you can see, the total revenue of Kinsale in the trailing 12 month has been increasing drastically, and it has reached its all-time highs, and so did the cash flow from operating activities. It's not reducing, as you can see. The green bar is the total revenue and the blue bar is the cash flow from operating activities, and both are going hand in hand. And the cash flow from operating activities has been increasing at a compound annual growth rate of 42% year over year, and revenue at 38%. So this is the reason why I have chosen this stock. One of the reasons. Detailed video, detailed analysis, and how to calculate the valuation I have already covered in a previous video, and you can have a look at the icon above. I'll link it up and you can definitely have a look at it. But this is one of the stocks which I have chosen, and I will keep it, and I will keep adding to my position. Then I have Life Pharmaceuticals, and I'm 51% on profit. and of course the current value is at 1000 euros, but I will sell it. And the reason is that I would like to stay away from biotech stocks for until I gain that confidence back and that positive vibe. So just being transparent with you guys. The next stock is Meta Platforms, and Meta Platforms I'm up by 312%, but it's only 0.42% part of my complete portfolio. And as you can see, I'm up by 312%. That's because I have not added any position. I just bought 0.698 stocks, but I'm planning to actually add Meta Platforms. The reason is right here. Meta Platforms engages in the development of products that enable people to connect and share with friends and family. News platform Fortune recently reported that Meta was one of the Gen AI firms in the US that has spun up, deepened, or started to pursue relationships with the military in recent months, even revising or making exceptions to internal policies to remove roadblocks and restrictions on defense work. And this is one of the reasons which I think is quite amazing. And if we look at the financials are not bad either. So we can see right here, the total revenue has been increasing at a compound annual growth rate of 18%, and cash flow from operating activities has also been increasing. It did take a dip, but then it has come back to good levels and has been at all-time highs in 2024. So this is the reason why I'm gonna add or continue my SIP for Meta. I have stopped it, like I said, and I never did it because I thought it's overvalued. But now, since it is coming back to its previous levels, I will continue the SIP for Meta Platforms. The next stock is Microsoft, and I don't need to tell more about Microsoft. I'm quite bullish at Microsoft, and I will be starting my SIP once again. I stopped it, and that's why the value is just at 1,600 euros, but I'm up by 41%. The next one is Micron Technology, as you can see. So Micron Technology is something which I was a bit skeptical. I'm up by 80%, and it only makes up to 0.64% of my total portfolio because I was bullish on other stocks. If you guys would like to know which stocks I will be adding to my portfolio, then do leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will make a separate video on that with detailed explanation why I would be adding those stocks. So this is the reason why I was quite skeptical about Micron Technology. As you can see, it had a dip, and this was of course because of the China's export ban from the US. So but now it is returning back to the previous levels from 2021, the revenue and the operating cash flow as well. And this is what I would like to see, that if Micron can continue to show us this upward trend in their revenue and operating cash flow, I would probably rethink about Micron Technologies. But like I said, we already have booked a lot of profit from Micron Technology. Our average value was around $40 or something for Micron Technology for my Patreon members, I mean, and we sold a lot of maybe 70 to 80% of our position in Micron Technology, because at certain level, like I showed you guys, we saw a dip in its financials, and because of export ban to China and chip bans, and of course due to the automotive sector, we had a lot of problems. And the problem is that 52% of its revenue, Micron's revenue, is from the US market and their DRAM product, and we saw a decline in the global automotive sector, especially in the US as well. And that's why we were a bit skeptical. Okay, we don't know when the market will recover those automotive sector, and that's why we thought, okay, let's take a break on it, and maybe we could invest and move our money to some other stocks. And this is what we discussed in our Patreons community as well, how to shift money to get the best benefits from the current macroeconomic situation in the market. So anyways, moving on, Nvidia I have been adding to my Nvidia position, and now it makes up of around 88.7% of my complete portfolio. The value stands at 7,000 euros, and I'm up by 106%. Actually, I was up by 200%, but like I said, I've been adding up to my position, and that's why my average is moving up. And now my current average is at $67, which is not that bad either. Yeah, I will not sell Nvidia, and this is something for my long-term portfolio. This is a long-term portfolio, but I would not be selling Nvidia anytime soon. Palantir is the next stock, and Palantir I'm up by 253%. My current average is sitting at $19, and it was at $16, but I added 20 more stocks, and so the average moved up, and it makes around 4.97% of my complete portfolio. My target for Palantir is to reach around 100 stocks and 200 stocks until 2026. If the price doesn't move much higher and the valuation is still under control, then that's my plan. This is another stock which millionaires are buying as well, and I do think that if you can keep up the SIP for Palantir, you can easily reach 100k with your portfolio in no time. Now, yeah, I do have a small portion of QQQ ETF as well, and I'm up by 73%, but this is not the portfolio where I collect my ETFs. This is just a high growth portfolio, but somehow I do have QQQ for some reason. Anyways, it's almost negligible, 0.16%. Then I have Riot Platforms, and Riot Platforms I'm up by 190%. I was more higher on Riot, but we sold it, and then the patrons in the patrons community, and then we re-entered, and so it's all profit, 190%, and Riot has made me a lot of money, and this is what I did and put that money into Cassava Sciences. But anyways, so I'm not planning to sell Riot as well because of the, of course, crypto bull market. Then I have Snowflake. Snowflake had been quite underperforming, but now finally, after its earnings beat, it did do quite good, and now I'm planning to add up more to my Snowflake position. It just makes up 0.55% of my current portfolio. Moving on to, okay, so I did miss the first page, sorry. Okay, so here are the stocks from the first page. So Airbnb, I'm up by 52%. I did sell most of my position, or let's say all of my position, in Airbnb because I was not so confident with Airbnb, and the reason was this right here. As you can see, the cash flow from operating activities for Airbnb has been declining, and the revenue is not increasing as I expected. So the compound annual growth rate is 18%, but they promised it to be above 22-25%, and you can see it is of course increasing. That is okay, but I'm not that optimistic with this growth, and especially when the cash flow is declining and not increasing with the revenue. So this is one of the reasons why I was not so much bullish on Airbnb, but I do think that this stock is something which you could average down with time. And of course, Airbnb is also working on improving their database because there has been a lot of complaints and people are not so comfortable with Airbnb anymore because of many incidents which has been happening at Airbnb apartments. So this is one of the things which I was not so much confident with Airbnb, because if I don't like that product personally from that company, I will not invest into that company. All these products, of course, I'm not using, but I am confident about their product, and if some of the products which from these companies I have used and I love it, so I will definitely buy into that company. This is one of my other strategies as well. So yes, that's why Airbnb doesn't hold up a big position, but I will check this company once again and then I will make up a detailed video for you guys if you would like to know. Then the next one is Adobe. Adobe, I sold a lot of Adobe stocks, and the reason for that is, you can see right here, the Adobe's revenue has been skyrocketing, no doubt, but their cash flow from operating activities has been reducing and has been declining, and actually their total revenue has also declined. So their last quarterly year-over-year revenue was only up by 8% in single digits. It has come down to single digits, which Adobe never had. And actually, to be honest, I had huge expectations after the Figma acquisition with Adobe, but I don't see those results, to be honest. And I do think that Adobe might be losing its moat. So again, this is not a detailed video. If you guys would like to know more detailed in-depth analysis for Adobe, then do let me know in the comment section. I will make a video. So that's the reason why I don't have much stocks of Adobe and only 700 euros worth of stocks for Adobe. The next one is Amazon. Now this position is quite small, around 2.2% only, and I'm up by 105%, but my plan is to collect Amazon. And that's the reason why I have this cash position, because I have stopped my SIPs because the current market or the current stocks which I have, they are a bit on the overvalued side. That's why I have put some cash on the sidelines to see if one of the stocks or some of stocks becomes more undervalued in my personal opinion, then I will put the money back into the stock market. This is the reason why these 10,000 euros are, instead of putting the SIP, I'm collecting it month over month and have kept this aside. Then I have Baba, but Amazon is one of the most undervalued stocks in the Magnificent Seven, in my opinion. Now I think Alphabet, but still Amazon, in my opinion, comes on the top of the list. But Alibaba is the next one, and I'm down by 8, almost 9%, but I don't have a big position in Alibaba, as you can see, only 0.5 shares. Okay, so let me show you the reason why I was not so much bullish on Alibaba. So from Tencent Holdings to Alibaba Group Holdings, China's tech leaders delivered underwhelming numbers for a quarter, beset by economic and geopolitical uncertainty. One of the reasons why we sold our Alibaba position, and my Patreon members as well, we were just sidelining Alibaba. Whether or not they can win back investors may increasingly hinge on Beijing's actions. Alibaba reported sluggish growth in its Chinese e-commerce business, while PDD Holdings warned profits will trend downwards over time. Still, JD.com quarterly revenue rose moderately, suggesting that Chinese consumers are cautiously spending again, at least in certain segments. And this is the reason why I am not so much bullish on the Chinese stocks or the emerging markets ETF, because the emerging markets ETF has majority of Chinese stocks. And that's the reason why I am not so much bullish on the Chinese stocks. And maybe this will change, because many billionaires are again being more bullish on the Chinese stocks. If I would like to buy Chinese stocks, then I will just stick to Alibaba or Tencent, and that too when I see some financial improvement in their businesses and in the economy. Then the next one is Coinbase. And of course, Coinbase, I'm up by 653%. That's because I never added to my initial position, and my average price was $40, and I'm up by 635%. So all of the money in this stock is just profit. But I'm planning to add some position as soon as I do see that Coinbase will come to a normalized valuation. But for now, yeah, not adding. Then I have CrowdStrike, and I'm up by 252%, but I'm planning to sell my CrowdStrike position, and I'm planning to add Palo Alto for the basic reason: valuation. CrowdStrike is overvalued, while Palo Alto is much more undervalued when we compare the financials in this industry. Yeah, cybersecurity. So that's the reason. But if you want in-depth analysis, do let me know in the comment section. Then I have Enphase Energy. I'm down by 24%. The reason is, of course, the Enphase Energy's financials are not doing that great, and the revenue declined as well. And now with Trump in action, he's not in favor of green energy so much, or renewable sources of energy, and he's more into nuclear energy. So let's see, he reduced the investment for the renewable sources of energy as well, which actually is a bit contradictory with Elon Musk to being more into sustainable sources of energy. So in this case, I'm a bit skeptical, but we are still averaging Enphase Energy down, because we do think, me and my Patreon members, we do think that as soon as there are some guidelines for the renewable sources of energy and the investment comes back into this sector, Enphase Energy will definitely benefit from it. Then we have Fiverr International, and this is the worst performer in my portfolio. I'm down by 42%, and I have not averaged down this stock. My average is sitting at $56, and I have 24 stocks. But why I'm holding this stock and why I'm not booking the losses for Fiverr International, because I do think that Fiverr International has the potential. Look at this, their total revenue, they have been increasing by 30% year over year. And their price to free cash flow yield is sitting at 6.9%, and their price to free cash flow ratio is just sitting at 14. So this is quite cheap, guys, and that's the reason why I have not sold my Fiverr International position, but I have not averaged it down as well. The reason is that, like I said, I want my money to grow. I want this kind of performance, and I do know that I can use this 10,000 euros, or I can use the money which I will put into Fiverr International into some other stock in order to get much more gains, because the market is punishing Fiverr International. The business is not that bad, but currently the market is definitely punishing Fiverr International. And why to get punished with this particular stock when the whole market is not in favor of this company? That's one of the strategies which I wanted to tell you guys, that sometimes the stocks might look really cheap and the underlying fundamental business is also really good, but at the same time you might have some other growth stock which could give you much better returns. Because ultimately, guys, what you want is money, right? When you invest into the stock market, you put your money to get back more money. And this is why sometimes you have to change your strategy, and this is what we do on monthly basis and review all the stocks, and then we move our focus from some other companies to other companies. Anyways, moving on to Alphabet, like I said, is one of the best stocks, Magnificent Seven, especially after the DOJ, the Department of Justice in the US, asked Google to break off Google Chrome. This is crazy, but anyways, and that's why Alphabet has been trending downwards. But this gives us an opportunity, because such indictments and such cases have always been there. Microsoft is also facing antitrust issues with the government, and this is just temporary in my opinion. So this will eventually fade off, and then is when Google will come back to the stock price and the multiple which it deserves. So the next one is quite an interesting one, which is Hims and Hers, and I'm up by 279% on Hims and Hers, and this is something which is it makes up to 10% of my complete portfolio, so my worth is 9,000 euros. And why I'm so bullish on Hims and Hers, and you can see the result. And also my Patreon members had Hims and Hers, and we made huge profit. This is just 279%, but they were up by 300-400% even. So we sold it, but I haven't sold it, and the reason is, we can see here the online revenue for Hims and Hers have been skyrocketing. You can see right here, number of subscribers has been increasing, and the average order value has been increasing as well. And now if you jump onto the financials, we can see the revenue is skyrocketing, and so is now the operating cash flow. Hims and Hers is not long ago that they became profitable, and their profit margin is gonna skyrocket in the coming future. And this is the reason why I have not sold Hims and Hers, but of course I do think that it is a bit on the overvalued side for now, but it's not that overvalued. The price to earnings is sitting at 60, I guess. And when a company becomes profitable, these multiples are expanding like crazy. Okay, you would see, like for Palantir, for Nvidia, it became 200, 300, CrowdStrike 400, 600 price to earnings ratio. So the market is quite excited for these companies when they become profitable, but for Hims and Hers on the other hand, the market isn't that excited. So I do think that still Hims and Hers has, with the current fundamentals, it still has a lot of potential to grow. But in the coming years, when the multiples will shrink and the customers and the investors will wait until the multiples are shrinking, the company is becoming more valuable, and then is the time when we will add some more money. But for now, I'm not selling it, and I'm not booking any profits from Hims and Hers, because I do think that this has a lot of potential. And this is one of the stocks which is another millionaire-making stocks. Okay, and last but not the least, we have SoFi. SoFi is another amazing company in my opinion in the fintech world, and I do think that we still have a huge potential. So the current price is at $16 and my average price is at $6. So we bought a lot of stocks of SoFi in our Patreon's community as well, because we knew that as soon as the interest rates will lower down, SoFi will definitely benefit from it, and this is what is happening. And I do think we still have 50-60% upside potential from here, and this makes up to 3.47% of my portfolio. And last but not the least, the highest conviction stocks in my portfolio, which makes up to 43% of my portfolio, and that's Tesla. And this is something which I don't recommend to everyone. Of course, not a financial advice, but don't make something so big in your portfolio that it can hurt, which happened with me in case of Cassava Sciences as well. But that was something which is, or was, I knew, or let's say not new, but I was somewhere, I knew that of course it's a huge risk, you know, and I was willing to take this risk. And of course it hurts no matter what we say, that okay, we were willing to lose all our money and this and that, but of course it hurts to lose all your hard-earned money. But in the end, guys, this is what it is. And I know some of you guys were waiting for a detailed video on Cassava Sciences as well, but for now I would like to stay away from it, and as a YouTuber, I know I would have a duty to of course let you know what I do think about Cassava Sciences. But to be honest, there's nothing left there. Really, there's no point in digging into something which is not there, you know. Anyways, so these are the best buys I would say best stocks to buy in 2024 and for 2025 and for the years ahead. And like I said, guys, I also have made another video on few of the stocks which are undervalued stocks, and you can definitely have a look at it, and you can find it here or here somewhere, and you will see me there. Until then, keep investing. These gains are not unrealistic. Any one of you can get onto these gains, and just the strategy and the trick is to invest consistently. If you would like to join our Patreons community, then feel free to join our Patreons community. The link will be in the description below. And yeah, feel free to get in touch even without Patreons community. If you have any questions, you can always contact me on Instagram and I will try to answer your questions. So until then, guys, stay safe, stay happy, stay consistent, invest carefully. Ciao.